former governor, Terry McAuliffe, and welcome, Terry. It's been a while, but glad to see you here. Terry McCullough is a proud Democrat who served as the 72nd governor of Virginia from 2014 to 2018. During his tenure, Terry brought 200,000 good paying jobs to the Commonwealth, drove down unemployment, and raised personal income over 13%. As governor, Terry served as a brick wall against extreme Republicans' attack on women's health care rights. He kept open every women's health clinic in the Commonwealth and vetoed all anti-women's rights legislation passed by the General Assembly. He also secured a record $1 billion in investments in education and expanded preschool to thousands of Virginian children. One of his proudest accomplishments was successfully reversing a racist Jim Crow law that disenfranchised hundreds of thousands of Virginians. Thanks to his effort, more than 200,000 Virginians have now had their voting rights restored and are able to participate in our democracy. In 2017, Terry was named Public Official of the Year by Governing Magazine. Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Terry McAuliffe. You're on mute. Baby, you're on mute. I can't hear him.
Governor, you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, Gov, he's on it. He's on it.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Congressman.
Terry, can you unmute? He can't unmute. Terry, would you like us
to? There we go. There we go. It was on your side. Well, hey, happy St. Patty's Day, everybody. As Jerry Conley says, the holiest of holy days. It's an honor to be with everybody once again. And it's not what we're normally used to on St. Patty's Day, but I want to thank my great friend, Jerry Conley, who I have had a great friendship with for years, but more importantly, as the former governor, I want to thank Jerry Conley for what he does every single day for Virginians, what he does for the federal workers. And I can tell you, for all of us in Northern Virginia, we would not have the transportation infrastructure were not for you, Jerry Conley. So I thank you. And Tammy, great to be with you again. And to all the SEIU workers across the Commonwealth, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm running for governor again because we got to go big, we got to be bold, and we got to take Virginia to the next level. You know, we've all been hit by COVID. 180,000 folks have lost their jobs, 260,000 Virginians under threat of eviction today, 700,000 Virginians without health care. We cannot tinker around. We got to go big. We got to be bold. And if you look at my proposals on Terry for Virginia, I've laid them all out. We've put a big, broad coalition together. We have support top to bottom, all 133 cities and counties. Most of the members of the General Assembly have endorsed me, including a lot of your great friends, our Speaker Eileen Fillercorn, our Majority Leader Charnel Herring, our Senate Leader Dick Saslaw, even the Speaker of the U.S. House, Nancy Pelosi, is supporting us, Jerry. You hear that? Your predecessor as Speaker is all in. But listen, folks, we got some tough days ahead. I want to thank Governor Northam and everybody else for the great job they have done through COVID so far. But the next step is big. We got to invest in education. I call for a $2 billion investment. If you take average teacher pay, Virginia ranks 50th out of 50 states. That is a disgrace for the 9th wealthiest state in America. We have 40,000 at-risk 3- and 4-year-olds. We got to get them pre-K. We got to get every child in the Commonwealth of Virginia access to broadband. So we did it before. We need to do it again. And that's why I have this huge coalition. Senator Louise Lucas, most powerful African-American woman in the history of Virginia, is chairing my campaign with Charnel and Mayor of Richmond, LeVar Stoney. But it's a great group of folks, and I'd love to have your help. I know we're having a straw poll. As Jerry Conley knows, I don't do them. As DNC chair, I outlaw them. But because Jerry asked me, that's why I'm here tonight. but I want to build a Virginia that's open and welcoming. As Tammy mentioned, I fought those Republicans like a dog every single day on restoration of rights, on getting health care for individuals, stopping their anti-women, anti-gay, anti-environment, pro-gun legislation. And I had 120 vetoes and I never lost one. But that's just a warm-up, folks. I'm ready to take it to the next level. Open and welcoming, treat everybody with dignity and respect. And to the AAPI community today, our hearts are out to all of you for all you've done. Let's go, Virginia. It's time to take it to the next level. Game on. Happy St. Patty's Day.
Thank you so much, Terry.
Thank you, Tammy.
Okay, we will go to our last but not least candidate, Senator Jennifer McClellan. Did I say that proper? Did I say that right? Okay. As a daughter of community leaders and educators raised in segregated South during the Depression, Jennifer McClellan was raised with a strong sense of servant leadership and a calling to strengthen her community. Her family's experience and her study of history taught her that government can either be a force for progressive change to solve problems or a force of oppression that benefits a select few. At a young age, Jen dedicated herself to ensuring government was that force of change for all. For most of her life, Jen has channeled those values into her commitment for progress, equity, and justice in the Commonwealth. She has implemented those values as a leader in the community, the Democratic Party, and in her over 14 years of service as a legislator in the Virginia General Assembly. Jen gets things done. She has been a driving force for progressive change in Virginia, leading the passage of landmark laws to invest in education, grow small business, expand access to healthcare, ban discrimination and inequity, safeguard workers' rights and voting rights, reform the criminal justice system, protect a woman's right to choose, and tackle climate change. Jen lives in Richmond with her husband, David Mills, and their two children, Jackson and Samantha. Welcome, Jen.
Thank you, Tammy. Good evening and happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. Thank you, Congressman Connolly, for bringing us together to celebrate all that we have accomplished and to rededicate ourselves to all of the work that lies ahead. I got to confess, I had a hard time getting in the mood to celebrate tonight as I processed the senseless murders in Atlanta. As Delegate Tran eloquently noted, this is the latest trauma inflicted on our AAPI brothers and sisters as they've seen an alarming increase in the hatred and violence that they've faced in the past year. But it's hatred and violence that is not new to this country. The murders heighten the violence against women that we've been fighting for centuries, and I want to thank you, Congressman Connolly, for voting to reauthorize the Violence Against Women Act today. These murders are yet another example of the devastation that can be caused in an instant by gun violence. It's difficult to campaign under these circumstances, frankly, especially given everything we've experienced over the past year. And in the midst of all this, the Republican frontrunner for governor is doubling down on racist statements about me and the Legislative Black Caucus. I am frankly reminded every day that I'm fighting the same fights that my parents, my grandparents, and my great-grandparents fought. Educators, domestic workers, and laborers who lived under the tyranny of Jim Crow. And as you heard, their stories taught me that at its best, government is that force for improving people's lives and solving problems. That's what motivated me to work to elect Democrats all over the Commonwealth for the past 30 years since I was a college student at the University of Richmond. It's what prompted me to get involved in community organizations dedicated to improving the lives of women, children, and families. It's what motivated me to run for the General Assembly and work for the past 16 sessions to address all of the issues you just heard. And this year and last year alone, I led legislation to make Virginia the first state in the South to proactively protect access to reproductive rights, to extend worker protections to domestic workers, have 100% clean energy standard, adopt our own Voting Rights Act, just among a few of my accomplishments. That's what's motivated me to run for governor, because while we've made generational change in the past year and couple of months since you helped us win the majority, there is much work left to be done. As we face a pandemic, an economic crisis, a reckoning with racial injustice, and a loss of faith in government's ability to solve problems, now more than ever, we need a new perspective that focuses on uniting us to solve the problems facing so many Virginians today. We need someone with experience to build coalitions to get things done. I'm running to rebuild our economy, our healthcare and economic safety nets, and our education system in a way that leaves no Virginian behind. And I'm running because I can't leave these problems to my children or your children to finally solve. I'm running to take the policymaking table out into our communities and include voices and perspectives that have been ignored for far too long. And I'm asking you to join me in this movement to build a stronger, more united Virginia. I'm asking for your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator McClellan. Okay, back to you, Catherine.